Welcome back. It is time for another story. When I was a kid, we got to, those of us who wanted to play instruments, we got to choose instruments. I believe it was going into fourth grade. I know all of my kids, they were given the opportunity to choose instruments going into fifth grade. But when I was a kid, it was fourth grade. And I remember I was so excited. I couldn't wait. Now, and understand, my family was extremely poor. It was my mother was in school trying to get her GED, as in graduating from high school. I'm the youngest of four, and I was like 10 years old, and my mother was trying to get her GED. So we're really poor. We're very, very poor. Single mom raising four kids. Anyway, and she's having to deal with me, the ADHD, I guess, on the spectrum kid, coming home being all excited because, hey, we all get to choose instruments going into next year. And my mother tried, she really did, she tried to humor me, and she said, "What instrument do you want to play?" And I said, "Oh, I really want to play violin." And she didn't miss a beat. She looked me right in the eye and she said, "Dean, you get beat up enough." And that kind of took the wind out of my sails, as you can imagine. It was true, by the way. I did get beat up way more than I needed to. But her compromise instrument was, she decided the instrument, and probably because this is as far as she could possibly stretch the budget to be able to afford an instrument at all, she decided the instrument I should start to learn on was clarinet. And in case you didn't know, clarinet is not a string instrument. Violin is. And if you've heard any of the stories that I've told you so far about my music career and my love of music, it stems from string instruments. Always. Always. Now, so my mother decided clarinet. And I tried. I really did. I tried hard. It's a reed instrument. It's B flat. So it's definitely not in the stringed instrument wheelhouse. It's very different. The tones are different. Obviously, you're playing many of the same notes, but their tone of a C from a clarinet and a C from a guitar or a violin are extremely different, even though they're the exact same note and they're vibrating the exact same number of times per second. Okay? But I really did try, and I would practice, and we were in a really poor school, and so I had to share my instrument with another kid. And not only was he good, but I'd hand him the instrument, and he'd take it and start licking the reed to get it to sound the way he wanted it to sound, and I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't. And so I made it like 2 months. And I didn't play another instrument until I was 17 years old, and I had a job, and I could afford to buy my own guitar, my very first guitar. But that was the start of my musical career. Fourth grade, being told I couldn't play violin because I got beat up too much, and I should start with clarinet because that was going to make me not get beat up somehow. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.